All right, so this is going to be a new addition to my little fleet that I have here. Finally, I got me a small little truck. It's a 2006 Chevy Colorado Inline 5. Now, I bought this just about a week ago. As you can see, it's a little rust under the frame here. That's kind of fine. Like I said, I spent about 15 minutes under the frame just checking. It's all surface rust. It was actually registered in Maine. So let me show you. It was owned by the Department of Environmental Protection, basically the EPA in the state of Maine. And basically they just probably drove it on parks. I mean, it's a very clean truck and does have a lot of, let's see here. I mean, as you can see, it's definitely dirty. Like it looked like if you look right here, they did a good job of cleaning the truck, but they missed a lot of stuff like right in here. But anyway, you can tell it's probably just been driven down a bunch of gravel paths, but this thing is clean. Take a look at this. I put some new mats in here. As you can see, this was some sort of truck that people drove around, a little communication holder here. I'm taking that off. Actually, I'm going to change this whole head unit. That's going to be a video. I'm not that good with radio, so it might be just more or less just an overview. I'm not going to go into in-depth about wiring because honestly, I'm not a big radio person. I know I can figure things out, but I'm ordered my head unit from Crutchfield, so I'm having them to do some pre-wired stuff, so it'll be much easier to install my head unit and rear view camera when I get it. And up here you can see the little microphone here. But anyway, I really like. I'm not used to this. Is like old school right here. I don't know if most people, younger people, have seen this, but this used to be kind of standard. I think we had a tinted top of the glass right here. So anyway, thought it was pretty cool. Couple of lamp lights under here. Everything works in the car, 4-wheel drive. It's sort of a utility truck. It's not badged. And I don't know if you noticed on the back it didn't have, but it is an LT. Because when I put my VIN number into Advanced Auto's website to register my car to my account, it asked me was it a LT or WT. I'm just guessing it's not a WT. But either way, it wouldn't make any difference for parts. But anyway, I'm going to change the belt on it. It's not squeaking or anything, but I'm thinking that they have not done that, even though this was a fleet vehicle, because it only has 137,000 miles on it. So let me pull my key out here, and so I got spark plugs already. I got ignition coils on the way. Man, ignition coil. If you get some old ignition coils for this thing, they are quite pricey actually. So I don't know what the deal is, but ignition coils in general are kind of pricey though. Let's turn that on. AC, look at that, 137,000 miles. This is a 2006, and I'm not joking. This thing idles well, runs well. AC is ice cold. I'm not even joking. I mean, this thing will blow you out of here, even on the hottest day. This is one thing out. It was a heat index was 110 degrees the other day. I came outside on a cold start. Within 3 seconds, it was blowing cold air. I'm talking like this AC is pretty amazing on this truck. I mean, let me pop the hood real quick. I'm gonna let y'all hear it idle a little bit here. But yeah, this thing is pretty nice. Give me a second here. I'm gonna just set y'all down here for 1 second. I have to lift this hood up here. Set you down here. Okay, there we go. Hold up, give me a second, y'all. All right, there we go. All right, so let me set you down again. Hold up, I gotta take a phone call real quick. Hello?
Hello, Sir Lester.
Yep,
This is Chad with JB Appliance Solutions. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I was just giving you a call, let you know about 30 minutes out to service that washer.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
All right, thank you. Bye. I had to take that call right quick. But anyway, this is an engine. I've cleaned it off already. It's quite dusty getting this. I'm assuming this thing they done a lot of riding down dirt paths and things like that. It's quite dirty. And I got some of that gunk spray, which that stuff really honestly don't work that good on dirt. It probably work more if you got like obviously it's a degreaser, but it did help. So actually what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna get a brush. It's gonna take me a little while. I'm gonna get a brush with some soap and water, and I'm gonna clean this stuff in here instead of using engine degreaser because it's not going to do anything. And another thing, this engine is bone dry. Like there's nothing leaking anywhere. I mean, I spent about an hour at the guy's house checking this truck out, and and again, like I said, when I went up under the bottom, checked the rust, I wanted to check the body. But the biggest thing for safety, I wanted it just at least make sure none of the brake lines was impregnated with rust. So anyway, I'm gonna give you a quick overview of what I checked. Okay, first of all, I checked the coolant. It had coolant in it. I checked the oil with the dipstick. It had oil in it. I checked the brake fluid. It's really, really dirty. I don't know if you can see that. It just needs to be changed. I'm sure they never changed it. But again, that's normal, and I'm sure they probably what they do. Because I worked for the state here some time ago, and we had vehicles that the rule at that point in time was when they got to 100,000 miles, they would get new vehicles. But I think since things with 2008 changed stuff, like it went up to 150,000 miles. So I'm sure they just all the stuff that needs to be changed around that time, like spark plugs and things like that, never got changed in this truck, or even brake fluid. And brake fluid should be changed every, I think, minimum 5 years if you want to keep your lines clean. But the braking is just fine. I've already had it inspected, got tags, insurance, everything on it. What else did I check? I don't think this is the battery. I haven't taken this cover off because the start just feels slightly weak to me, but it could be it. But anyway, inline 5, put a new air filter in it already. But anyway, after I thoroughly checked the bottom part, because that was the first concern here. I'll go back and I'll just show you a little bit what I'm saying. Okay, you can see a little rust under here. But again, I got underneath the truck as well. You see rust under here. So again, I really checked this truck out, and trust me, it's all surface rust. It's solid as a rock. But again, the basic checks. Okay, but even though you see coolant in there, okay, that first question is answered. Look in the coolant reservoir, see if you see anything in there that like little rainbow tinted. Make sure they ain't got a blown head gasket. I mean, that ain't 100% guarantee, but the coolant should just look like plain coolant when you look inside of it. Plain and simple. You check the oil. It doesn't matter if the oil been changed recently. Like first thing, the one rule is that if a car you've never seen, you don't want to start it without checking the oil. Because say if for some unknown reason no oil is in it, you start up and blow the engine, then there's a problem. Okay. I didn't check the power steering fluid. I mean, I kind of just trusted that, but I could have. Transmission fluid, I didn't trust that anyway. I mean, I trusted enough not to look, because again, I was just going to drive it around his block first, and then, but I did look at the brake fluid. Just wanted to look at the level. I walked around, and again, like I said, this is just, and I checked the drive belt. So this drive belt here is really good, no cracks in it. But even if it was, but the drive belt is pretty good. But I'm gonna change it because I don't think it's ever been changed, because it's got a lot of the groove depth is really deep in it. And I think that's one of the indications that it ain't always about cracks. It's a groove depth in the belt that you sometimes want to check. Obviously I checked all the lights, things like that. And I'm sure there's more stuff you can check, okay? Obviously I checked codes in it. There were no codes in it. All the monitors wasn't fully reset all the way because he had just put this battery in it. But the monitors are obviously already set. I have gotten it inspected. I checked the year on the tires, and if you don't know how to check the year on the tires, you want to make sure the tires are less than 6 years old. If you see right here, I don't know if you can see that, but this tire here was made in the 23rd week of 2021. And this is a matching set of tires, and just by looking at the treads, you don't even have to check that. You could just visually see that these treads are good. It did have some gas in it. And that's another thing. Even though gas is in it, the truck had been sitting for a while. So what I would say do is go put some gas in it, because gas technically does have a shelf life. And so I went, like, it had a half a tank of gas in it, but I went ahead and filled the rest of it up with premium gas to make sure that if the gas was shelf life had gone down, to make sure that it had a good amount of octane, and give it a good chance for like making sure that nothing would like happen, like knocking or anything like that, in case, because I haven't heard the truck start up yet, if you notice. Then after I went around and checked all those things, there's a few other things I checked, but those are like the major first things I checked. And then I started the truck up. So let's go ahead and start the truck up. So let me show you what that sounds like. There's a little construction here in the neighborhood. So when I started up the truck, let's go ahead and fire this puppy up so you can hear. You hear that? Fires right up. I mean, this thing, that's why I tell you, you hear that little crank there. It's not bad at all, but I just feel like he just put the battery with the wrong crank in there. He probably just had a battery and put it in there, and that's what I'm assuming is what he did. But I'm gonna, that's gonna be one of the things I'm gonna check. I'm gonna probably just go ahead and put a new battery in here as well, because I just don't think that's the right battery. But listen to that. Let me get my microphone, get you a little closer. Everything sounds really good. You can just hear the injectors ticking. I mean, this thing, it sounds really, really good. So, anyway, I just want to show y'all something new that's coming to the channel. Of course, this is a 2006. It's going to periodically need probably a little work here and there. Hopefully nothing crazy, but I am going to be changing the belt. I am going to be changing the ignition coils. I am going to be changing the spark plugs right off. I am going to probably put a new battery. The new battery, I mean, I'm pretty sure I won't put that in the video, but putting a new head unit and crush film on the rear view camera in this thing as well. And is there anything else I'm going to do? Oh, I did. I went ahead and ordered me a thermostat because this truck is so old. I just got one because I just feel like, you know, they say like eventually a thermostat will wear out on a car. So especially a vehicle like this. So I got one of those, and it doesn't need a thermostat or anything just yet. So with that said, that's the 2006 Colorado that you guys will be seeing much more. If you got any questions about it, let me know. And also, if you got any other tips on when you buying used cars. The last tip I forgot about when you buy a used car is always check the title first. Make sure that the person actually has a title in hand, first of all. And make sure that it's not a salvage title or a junk title. There's nothing wrong with buying salvage title and junk titles if you're buying it for a specific reason and if you know what you're doing. But make sure they actually have the title in hand, because I ran across that when I was looking for my truck. You go check the truck out, they don't have the title in hand. Well, I gotta go, because if you don't have the actual title right then and there on the spot, that's the number one thing you want to look at. Then move on to your vehicle basic fluid checks, check underneath the frame, and there you have it. Because what you want to do is make sure you can actually get the truck inspected or get your vehicle inspected, because say if you go buy a car and all of a sudden there's some $1,000 problem you couldn't see, that you can't get the vehicle inspected. But anyway, there you have it, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.